Day 15, the sound, the cry of sons. For because he himself in his humanity has suffered in being tempted, tested, and tried, he is able immediately to run to the cry of those who are being tempted and tested and tried, and who therefore are being exposed to suffering. Hebrews 2:18. The cry of the Son in his temptations and testings was not a cry of despair, but of absolute trust and dependence. In the wilderness, in his weariness, in hunger, he cried not to escape temptation, but to cleave to come and to hold fast in loyalty to his Father. Temptation came to separate him from the Father, to cause him to try to handle it himself. But he refused. His cry of dependency upon the Father came from that deep, private place, and that cry becomes the foundation of every son's cry. And here is the wonder. When sons cry out, they do not shrink into smallness. They are lifted into greatness, to increase by the goodness of their Father. Psalm 71:21. You will increase my greatness and comfort me again. The cry that may seem weak becomes the very channel of his enlarging goodness. A.W. Tozer wrote, Jesus Christ knows the worst about you. Nonetheless, he is the one who loves you the most. Because he knows, because he has been there, he definitely hears your cry. And the cry of the Son sanctifies the cry of all sons, making it much more than a simple display of weakness, but it becomes worship. It becomes adoration for the one who is your way. And this worship enlarges us into his likeness, inwardly and privately forming Christ in us. Watchman Nee reminds us, we have no victory that wasn't first his victory. Victory is not only Christ's, but also ours in him. We have no victory separate from his victory. Our cry, which always begins in private, joined to his cry, becomes the sound of triumph, where his goodness pulls us upward even in times of our great vulnerability. Oswald Chambers tells us, always look at the cross. That is the only place where the burden of sin is removed. The cross is where all of it was swallowed by his strength, and where his cry became the greatness of all sons. The cry of sons is not an admission of defeat. It is the sound of dependence that fully recognizes God's goodness, which in turn increases our greatness, our sound, which is first private but then eventually goes public. Let out your cry to the Father today. Hell hates this sound, but oh, how the Father inclines his ear to hear the private cry of his sons, because they have fully recognized he is their total source. He is their Father. He is your Father, and he longs to hear your sound.